Hey guys, Alex975 here today, and as you can see in the title of today's video, I wanted to discuss why I think Batman heavily carries DC as a franchise, not just in movies, but comics, animated movies, and video games. Now, the only one that I just mentioned there that you can argue is comics, because there is a lot of DC franchise comics that are amazing and brilliant. Now, I haven't read them myself personally, but I know from critics and people in general that Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, all of them are all brilliant, but Batman is still the top one, and I think everyone agrees with that. But it's not like he carries it and that no one would like DC without that. But for the other ones, I don't think it's even contested, this opinion, but I'm going to talk about it in depth. Before I get into the main one, which is obviously movies, I'm going to talk about the other two. So animated movies, I don't know if you guys have watched any DC animated movies, but if you haven't, I highly recommend it. From all the DC animated movies I've watched, which are mostly either Justice League or Batman animated movies, and obviously Justice League has Batman in it, and he's usually the main character in it. But for the Batman animated movies, they're all that I've watched are really, really good and so underrated in comparison to mainline live action movies featuring Batman, because they can do much more in-depth stuff because they don't have as high a budget, so they don't expect a high box office result. But these Batman animated movies are some of the best movies I've ever seen, and I highly recommend it. Now, I have heard that the recent ones haven't been good, but the ones that I've seen have been really, really good. And one that I am going to be rewatching, and I really recommend that you guys watch, is the Batman Dark Knight Returns. The two movies are brilliant, and I really enjoyed them, and I think you guys should watch them. If you want to watch any Batman animated movies, that's the one I would recommend. And for the Justice League animated movies, Batman is still the guy that everyone thinks of when the Justice League. I know the same can be said for Superman, but you actually want to see Batman on screen because there's not much you can do with Superman, and I've seen a lot of complaints about this, and I completely agree. The Superman going evil topic storyline has been well overused and is starting to get old really fast, but that's because there's not much you can do with the character of Superman, at least that hasn't been shown. Now, I have seen people talk about it, so I'm completely open to seeing Superman in different storylines, but there's not much directions you can take him in comparison to Batman. And now, video games, I haven't played any superhero video games, being completely honest. But the Batman Arkham games, I think everyone knows for a fact that these are some of the best superhero games. And all four of those games are 5-star games. They're ahead of its time with the gameplay. The cutscenes are amazing. The voice acting is amazing. It had Kevin Conroy, which was a peak Batman voice actor. And obviously the Kill the Justice League video game came out. And the Batman death scene, because it was Kevin Conroy's last voice acting for Batman, a lot of people thought it was a disrespect, which shows how much people cared about the voice actor and the actual game, the actual character of Batman in Arkham, and showing how much, even though a game hadn't come out in 10 years and probably wouldn't come out, people cared about this character so much, and it just shows how much Batman has an impact on people. And then obviously the main one that I'm going to be talking about, which is movies. And with the DCEU, I think everyone in general admits it was a flop. Now, there was some decent movies in there, with Man of Steel and Wonder Woman being average, and then Aquaman being a massive success, but that wasn't really a great movie. It was mid. It just came out at a time where everyone was going to the cinema, but that was the only movie there, kinda. And then Ben Affleck's Batman was obviously in that storyline with the DCEU and the Justice League and all that, and I do have to say that he is actually getting the recognition he deserves now, but it's kind of annoying because it's now when he's already officially gone, but he was kind of held down by the movies, and you could tell that Ben Affleck was actually could have been a good Batman. His physicality was definitely the best out of any of the Batman actors we've ever seen. His physicality was he was massive, and he was the most in line with the Batman from the comics. He was the most comic accurate looking Batman, and it was also interesting to see him in his 40s compared to when we usually see him in his 20s or 30s. But the unfortunate thing was that Ben Affleck's Batman was held back by the comedic comedy that they were trying in the Justice League, which was obviously the main movie he was in. Obviously, you can talk about Batman v Superman, but that movie has a really bad rap. In my opinion, it's nowhere as bad as people make it out to be. I do have to say it's quite a boring movie at times, but some of the I actually like the movie a lot. I would have to say it's definitely got its flaws, and I'm not trying to say I think it's the best movie of all time or anything, but I do have to say that it's got a really bad rap, and it's put at the same level as Justice League, which in my opinion, it's way better than Justice League. But as I was saying, when the DCEU was doing bad, DC released midway during this really bad period for DCEU, they released the Batman, which I know wasn't connected to the DCEU, but that perfectly shows why Batman as a whole, as a franchise, is nearly the same size as DC as a franchise, because the Batman managed to make, I think, $1 billion at the box office. I may be well off with that, but it made a lot of money, and it was a brilliant movie. But aside from it being an actually really good movie, people are saying nowadays with the DCEU's last few movies, Aquaman 2, Shazam, Fury of the Gods and all that, and Birds of Prey, that those movies flopped because people weren't interested in DCU. They weren't interested in the DCEU anymore because they were going to be rebooting it. But I think it's just because there wasn't enough name power in it, as in like the title itself, the characters don't have enough backing, because these characters have either lost interest from the fans or just weren't big enough to begin with the budget they were getting given. But with Batman, you can see that no matter what the state of the DC is, Batman will always succeed as a movie. Now you can also talk about the Dark Knight trilogy, but I don't think there's much to be said. That movie was perfect. There was also not much superhero movies coming out at that time, so that kind of brought in superheroes to become a mainline movie genre in general. But Marvel obviously has a big factor in that as well. And then there is the only really big DC effect that wasn't contributed by Batman was Christopher Reeve's Superman, and that one happened around 70 years ago. I'm well off with that, 50 years ago, but still, it was a very long time ago, so I can't say that can be used as a point, because everything else has been heavily involved by Batman that's been successful by the DC universe, and then Michael Keaton's Batman was obviously revolutionary at the time as well, and they were all massive successes. So anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about for today's video. I want to keep it short because I don't want to make too long of a video, because if I want to make another video talking about this more in depth, that one will actually be long. But you may have noticed that it's been 2 weeks since I've uploaded, and I did say this in my last video that it would be 2 weeks, but I still wanted to apologize anyways, because it's been really frustrating not being able to upload, because I've just not had the time, not had the energy either. I've been off for 3 days now, and I really was angry that I wasn't uploading, but I just didn't have the energy to do it. But now I have the energy, and I'm going to be trying to upload in all 3 of my channels. That's Alex975A, AlexM975, and this channel, every day on all 3 channels, and maybe even more than one video. I'm hoping to do that. I can't confirm anything, but I would say I'll be able to do it for at least a week. So because I really want to help these channels, because I just haven't had the time lately, but I know next year I will have the time, so I don't want these channels to die. I want these channels to grow so that they're at a better point next year, so I can have a really good year next year. And I'm not trying to say that like this year I'm giving up or anything. I'm just saying that I know this year I'm going to be basically preparing the channels for next year, where hopefully they can enter a new level of views and subscribers. At least that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping those ambitions can work out, but I don't know. I'm just trying to have fun on YouTube at the moment. That's why I haven't really cared about the views that I've been getting on this channel, although they have massively dropped since before when I was uploading Minecraft tutorials. I still believe in the commentary genre because I really like talking about this stuff, and also I believe that once I get a few subscribers from these videos, these videos will start gaining a bit more traction. But yeah, that's all for today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.